The branches of natural computing. The three branches of natural computing, and we are going to going into an overview of these branches of natural computing. We will discuss in detail about the branches of natural computing in our coming lectures. So natural computing has three main branches. Number one, computing inspired by nature. Number two, the simulation and emulation of nature in computers. And number three, computing with natural materials. Now, just to highlight these three branches, we just a short overview of these three branches. So number one, computing inspired by nature. Nature has greatly enriched computing, and nature has been very successful in solving complex problems. We have different types of problems in our everyday life. For example, living organisms, they urge to have a search for food. Now, food searching is a problem and is a big and complex problem. Now, how different types of organisms, from humans to other animals to insects to birds, how they are searching for food and how they are solving this problem. Living organisms also urge to have a shelter, to get a shelter from their predators, from the harsh conditions. Now, different organisms have a different behavior in achieving this target to solve this problem, because different organisms have different types of shelter problems either from the harsh conditions or from the predators. Living organisms also have to mate and to reproduce, to go into their next generation, because if they cannot successfully mate or reproduce, then their generations will get vanish from the history, from the planet Earth. And they also have to find their survival and to make their nests or to make their homes. We need a good and lavish home. Now, this is all these are some of the examples of problems and the behavior of different organisms and natural systems towards the solving of these problems. So these natural systems are basically, if natural systems are solving these problems, so we can artificially can manipulate these natural phenomena and can use them for solving some complex problems of daily life in our computers or in a modified way in artificial systems. For example, viewing a colony of ants foraging for food as an intelligent behavior. Ants, very tiny and very intelligent organisms, they are foraging for food. We human beings have already been greatly inspired by the ants' behavior, foraging for food and storing their food for the coming days, for the harsh conditions. And one example we have studied in our previous slides were clustering of dead bodies in their nest to clean their nests. Now, natural computing has its components. The computing inspired by nature has its components, which are composed of evolutionary algorithms, including different types of algorithms like genetic algorithms and some other algorithms. Artificial neural network, very very efficient types of algorithms it includes, जिसमें हम artificial intelligence में artificial neural network के different algorithm हम use कर रहे हैं आजकल, काफ़ी ज़्यादा use हो रहे हैं, जो कि inspiration ली गई है from the nature, because the natural systems or the organisms, the living organisms, they possess their neuron system, their neural system, and this neural system consists of different types of neurons, and they are interconnected with each other, and their interconnections, they are passing the stimuli towards to respond to this stimulus. So this artificial neural network being inspired from this neural system. Also, it consists of swarm intelligence and artificial immune system. So in artificial immune system, the inspiration is again coming from the natural system of the immune system. How we are manipulating that how the immune system is responding to the invaders, to the pathogens. So we are using this artificial immune system in our computers for solving the problems of different, for example, in antiviruses and malwares. The simulation and emulation of nature in computer. It provides new tools for the synthesis and study of natural phenomena that can be used to test biological theories, which are usually not possible to be performed passively in the real world. So this field is basically a synthetic version of all this, and thanks to the development in the field of graphics and visualization in computer, now the simulation and emulations have been greatly modified and up to the standard that we can simulate different types of natural systems easily in our computers, and in the forms of different graphs or in some other forms in our computers. So it's a synthetic approach in most cases. There are two main approaches to the simulation and emulation of nature in computers, that are artificial life, which is also termed as a life these days, and the researchers are working very efficiently toward this field. And in my personal opinion, it will be a field in the near future which will be parallel to the robotics in the near future. And fractal geometry of nature. So fractals are basically irregular shapes. In nature, nothing is smooth and regular. There are irregularity everywhere, but in this irregularity there is self-similarity inside. So they are called fractals. So the fractal geometry is very important. Computing with natural materials. It is concerned with the new computing methods based on other natural materials than silicon. In this direction, the scientists are working to utilize some biomolecules, including DNA, RNA, and RNAs, for the computing purposes, to enhance the efficiency of the computing and to solve some sort of complex and NP-hard problems, like traveling salesman. And these methods will result in a non-standard computation to overcome some of the problems of the standard computers. We know that S, like any mathematical operation, can be broken down into bytes. So logical functions can be built using AND and OR, the discrete gates. Any computable thing can be worked out by appropriately wide the AND and OR gate. So in computers, things are working on this level and the bytes level. If something is on, then 0 or 1 or and OR functions are usually used at the system level. Now this computing with the natural materials have been motivated by the need to identify alternative media for computing, and as I previously discussed, that scientists are trying and are using biomolecules like DNA and RNA for computations and for solving different types of complex problems, including salesman traveling problem. This is a very, very popular example, just one example of a complex problem. Now this is a complex problem because if we add a number of cities to the traveling salesman problem, the problem becomes more and more complex with the addition of every problem. Now one very popular example in this direction with the DNA computing is the proposal of a model with solving this problem with hibernating some DNA molecules, and the Edelman have proposed a very good model for this and have in the direction of solving this problem.